So when you have data, usually most of the time your data are not fitting properly. Okay? If I give you data, it might fit properly just because I made sure that the data fit properly. Okay? But most of the time when you collect data, if you're going to find a research or do a research or do whatever it is, your data are not going to fit 100%. Okay? But it could be, you should be able to look at your data and you should be able to identify if your data is linear or not. Okay? So we can use what we call the linear model. To model data or linear regression, I should say. To model data that appears to be linear. Okay, and then I can find a line of best fit. Now here's something that I want you guys to pay attention to and look at me for a second, please. So we're gonna look at 3 different types of best fit, of graph of best fit. At the end, you're gonna have to most likely pick what model you want to use. Are you gonna use linear? Are you gonna use quadratic? Are you gonna use exponential? At the end of this unit, you're gonna pick. But sometimes the question will ask you specifically to find a line of best fit. Even if you think that this is the worst idea and it doesn't fit properly, if the question asks you to use a line of best fit, guess what? You have to use a line of best fit. Because this tells me that you are following directions. Okay? But if the question asks you to pick what one fit properly, then I'll teach you how to do that. Okay? But you have to read the question carefully and then listen. If the question says line of best fit, you're picking the line. Okay? If the question says the polynomial or the quadratic that best fit, then you pick the quadratic. We'll talk about that in the next lessons. Okay? You're gonna have to read the question and make sure that you follow the instructions. Now, we're gonna look at these data. So we have the following table, shows the median age of Canada's population from 1975 to 2000. Okay? So we are going to graph this. But before we graph this, let's look at what represents what. So if I'm gonna graph, I need X and Y. I need vertical and I need horizontal, right? Which one goes on the X, which one goes on the Y? The year goes on the X, and the age goes on the Y. Okay? 99% of your time, if they give you year, you're gonna have to put the year on the X. Okay? Now, let's look at, most of the time, you also want to change your years instead of having them 1975, 1980, 1985. You want to change them to as 1975 as your year 0, okay, and 1980 as your year 2, and so on as your year
1.
No, 5, because you're going up by 5, right? And this is as your year 10, year. Usually the question will ask you to do so. Usually the question will ask you to use
Scale.
Yeah, to put 1975 as year 0. In this case, it doesn't ask us. So I am going to leave it as is. Okay? So now I need to graph and I need to find a line of best fit. Here's what we need to do first. So you guys have to tell me these data, okay? So if you guys pay attention to me for now, and then we'll give you time to do this. I'll give you time to do this. So you should have a blank Excel sheet. These are my favorite. That takes forever.
Can I borrow you for 2 seconds? The St. Vincent de Paul's here.
Gee, okay.